Welcome to the Business Buyer Diaries. My name is Nathan Platter. I'm a full-time employee, and I bought a business. I did everything right, from finding the deal, handling all the due diligence on 63 opportunities, and ultimately bought a profitable gym. And boy, was I in for a big surprise as a new owner. I chronicled everything in real time, including the biggest wins to the stressful nights at 2 a.m. I'm sharing my journey without sugarcoating anything, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Here's today's episode.
So I just touched the broker today. Things are coming along nicely. Essentially, they came back from their trip and drafted the PA. So last week they sent me the purchase agreement, and it's like the purchase price, that has an addendum with like some minor details and things we're ironing out. And the purchase agreement is just to like seal in the deal, lock it down, and begin the final due diligence so that we can get to closing. And for a deal, and this is a smaller deal, it's coming in at like $500,000. And so it's not that complex. And at the end of the day, it's monthly cash flows, membership list, stuff that's pretty straightforward. For deals that have a lot of like more complexities, like I think for ours, it's just like 5 or 6 PDF documents, one or two spreadsheets. So it's a pretty simple thing to go through and do due diligence on. So our DD is going to be pretty basic. But the goal of this is to get to the closing table. And so part of the process is realizing what are the bottlenecks? What are the things preventing the deal from closing? What's stopping us from signing paperwork today, right now, and closing this deal? And so instead of refusing like, oh, let's treat this like a long drawn out process. Like, no, it already is a long drawn out process. We're like a month into the process, and we're just now getting to a purchase agreement, which is fine. No shade on anyone, but there's just a lot of steps that the seller has to do to provide the buyer. There's a lot of stuff I, as the buyer, have to provide the particular, the financing team for getting the SBA loan. And one of the hiccups that happened today, which I realized helped me come to this new framing, is rush to your next bottleneck. Like, don't just like get to it, but like run as fast as you can to your next bottleneck. And, for right now, it's signing a purchase agreement. So, all right, well, we got to get to the purchase agreement. And throughout the weekend, my wife and I decided we want her to be part of the acquisition. Due to financing, credit scores, and fine print, we were at first thinking I would be the sole owner of the gym. If I died, it would automatically go to her, but that was just the game plan for legal and accounting reasons. But we decided through a few different reasons, we want her to be a 50-50 owner with me on everything in this whole process, because that's the route we want to go. So I realized, well, is this a bottleneck for us buying the gym, or is this just additional paperwork? And so got a hold of the broker, said, hey, everything's going as planned, let's proceed onward. But we want to add my wife as, 50-50 gym purchaser or fitness studio purchaser. We also want to incorporate with a brand new LLC. We haven't even made an LLC yet, but we want to set up through an LLC, not through personal ownership. Can we still sign the PA today, right now? Because if we're good, it's like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. Like, we're good to go. Like, that's not an issue. And he just opened up the purchase agreement, and he just changed it to Nathan Platter and or assignees, and basically allowing for a spouse and other entities to get involved. So what I thought might be, okay, this is going to add on like another week of paperwork, bank approvals, credit scores. It's like, no, you just add 5 or 6 words to a document and you're done. And so by overthinking it, overcomplicating it, and just saying, hey, I'm trying to get to the next step. Here's my twist to the next step. Does it slow us down, or is this just a twist? And fortunately, the broker is very experienced, very easygoing. We just proceed on to the next step. He just modified 5 or 6 words, and we're good to go. I've got a really good friend he and his family want to buy a business. They have great careers, great family, and they're wanting to buy a business or start a business. And they're very engineering, very calculated type folks. Very smart, fun, loving people. We love them to death. But one of the parts that they're stuck at right now is figuring out the right LLC name that they want. Or do they want a corporation? Is the website available for what the entity they're trying to start? And And in all honesty, I'm not quite sure what industry they want to get into. I'm in the health and wellness space, and they're still not quite sure if they want to do roofing, siding, asphalts, grocery delivery routes, Amazon trucks, rail car leasing, car sale, like the business that they want to get into. They're not even sure yet. And and I need to push harder that's what they need to be figuring out. If they've got a chunk of change, and you as the listener, let's assume you've got a chunk of change, 500,000, $1 million, or even like 60 grand, or I don't know, $111,000. Pick a number. What's stopping you from buying a business today, right now? If it fell out of the sky right into your lap, what is stopping you? And for most people, it's going to be financing. Great. Let's get you a financing person. If it's going to be, well, I don't know what's available for sale. All right, we can find some websites for that. There's brokers that will navigate and find a business for you to sell. Is it going to be no accounting and tax issues? That is not something stopping you from buying a business. That is you overanalyzing and paralyzing yourself with uncertainty and shrouding it like it's research or something you have to know to buy a business. No, you do not. You need a business, someone who wants to sell and get cash over the business that they own, and you need to have an opportunity to have a talk or a conversation with that person. For most people, it's having an opportunity to buy in front of them. That was what was stopping me. And once you have that available, you can now say, like, great, I want to buy this. Think of going to a car dealership. When you go onto the lot, you know they're going to try to sell you. And so the first thing is, hey, I have money. I want to buy a car. What's the salesperson first going to say? Great. Are you looking for a truck, a little sedan, a minivan? What are you looking for? And that's the first thing you got to know. What are you looking for? What do you want? As they say in the notebook. And let's say you pick, I'm next to a Ford Bronco right now. Say, I'm looking for a Ford Bronco. Let's say, all right, well, let's see what I have in my inventory for sale. You walk the lot, they check their company website. They may look at like an auction website and say, all right, I've got 11 Ford Broncos for sale. What do you care about? Heated seats, the color of the car, all-wheel drive. And now you as the buyer are in the driver's seat. You can say, I live in a cold state. There's snow. I want all-wheel drive. I really want it to look clean in the off-season, so I want it to be a nice gray. I want it to make sure it has high-definition sound. And so now you get to the little details, like the price point, the features, the complexity of the thing you're buying. And then at the end, it's like, all right, well, do you have all the cash? No? Okay. Have you ever found a car dealership that cannot help you with financing? I know. It's obvious that they always have a financing route. Brokers for businesses have the exact same thing. They have connections with local banks, online banks, different lending partners to help you get the financing you need to buy a business. So and when you go to buy a house, you talk to a realtor. A good realtor has connections. And I know I'm getting sidetracked with realtors and car dealerships, but the first step is to not freeze yourself up on what's not going to matter. If you had the perfect business fall from the sky, what do you need to close on that transaction? You need to have a business that's doing what you need revenue and cash flow wise, that has the right size of employees and the client base that you're looking for, that they're looking to sell on reasonable terms at a price to earnings ratio that works for what you're looking for. Is this going to be a full-time business, a side hobby, something that you're semi-owner involved in? Is this something that you want to pass into your kids, or it's going to be done within like 5 years, like a trend business, or something that's a current market cycle? Is this something that you want to be seasonal? Or is it going to be same year round, 12 months a year? Do you want to deal with a lot of staff? Do you want to deal with a lot of customers? Do you want to deal with big commercial contracts or mom and pop buyers? And the only way you can do this is by looking at what's for sale and poking holes into why this is a good thing or not a good thing for you to pursue. And so for my dear friends out there, and for the Nathan Platters out there like me, don't over obsess about the different accounting laws that you don't know about. Don't worry about tax issues. Don't worry about what kind of entity structure or the company name, the logo, the website, ordering business cards, figuring out client appreciation events. Like you're way. Step one, buy the business, have a business that's for sale, figure out if you can afford it. If you can't, find partners. If you can, continue onward, and then know how to do due diligence. But rush to your first bottleneck first. And don't worry about the details that you can figure out later on. The details will work themselves out. And the closer you get to the finish line of a deal, the more people will help you get to the finish line. If I told the broker, hey, I don't know tax laws, I don't want to close on this deal, he'd say, all right, I will give you 10 CPA referrals, close on this deal so he can get paid. So rush to the thing that helps you get to where you're trying to go and let the details worry themselves out. And if it's a roadblocker, then have a come to Jesus moment and realize that this is something you either don't need to know or something that you can figure out later. So that's all it is. And that's what I'm learning today from meeting or talking with the broker and realizing roadblocks are usually not a roadblock. It's usually just waiting for somebody else to do their thing or you to do your thing. So that's all I've got. Details later, big picture, big steps first.
This has been another episode of the Business Buyer Diaries. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I hope you're realizing that business ownership is no cakewalk. Check the podcast notes for a link to the DIY Due Diligence Program, the complete list of show sponsors, and for media inquiries. Music written and composed by Wes Schrock. I'm your host, Nathan Platter. Join me again on the next one.